সেজ অর্থ আধ্যাত্মিক এবং দার্শনিক বিষয়ের একজন পরামর্শদাতা। Person celebrated for wisdom, a mentor in spiritual and philosophical topics.
Use the word sage for someone or something wise and judicious. Thanks to the sage advice of your friend, you didn't write your teacher an angry email.
You might think of a wizard when you hear the word sage, but it means a wise man. You see, it used to refer to someone who has insight in a particular field. If someone is a policy sage, he knows just what advice to give politicians to make them understand the issue and respond successfully to it.
Memory aid to help you memorize. Sage equals sensible, a wise person.
সেজ অর্থ আধ্যাত্মিক এবং দার্শনিক বিষয়ের একজন পরামর্শদাতা। Person celebrated for wisdom, a mentor in spiritual and philosophical topics. Salubrious অর্থ স্বাস্থ্যকর, healthful.
Salubrious is a fancy way to describe something that's good for you or is generally favorable to mind or body, but it need not be limited to describing healthy foods or liquids.
The two words, salute and salubrious, stem from the same salus, meaning welfare, health. Maybe next time, raise a glass of wheatgrass instead of vino.
Memory aid to help you memorize. We salute each other with a cheer, to your health, as we chug down something that probably isn't that good for us. But if it were salubrious, it would be. Or, salubrious and nutritious are rhyming words which describe something that is healthy or health-giving.
Salubrious অর্থ স্বাস্থ্যকর, healthful. Sanction অর্থ সরকারি অনুমতি বা অনুমোদন, official permission or approval, ratify.
Sanction has two nearly opposite meanings. To sanction can be to approve of something, but it can also mean to punish or speak harshly to. Likewise, a sanction can be a punishment or approval. Very confusing. The person who invented this word should be publicly sanctioned.
Before invading Iraq, the US and its allies first imposed sanctions on the country, refusing to supply the country with much-needed trade items. Guess sanction equals punishment. But by trading with China at the same time, the US quietly sanctioned that nation's known instances of human rights abuses.
Memory aid to help you memorize. You can read it like sanction equals sang song. So, you sing song when you have been approved or accepted. It's like being approved to USA.or, sanction or permission or authorization to get the authority to do something.
Sanction অর্থ সরকারি অনুমতি বা অনুমোদন, official permission or approval, ratify. Satiate অর্থ সম্পূর্ণরূপে সন্তুষ্ট, satisfactorily.
If you just can't get enough popcorn, even the jumbo tub at the movie theater may not be enough to satiate or satisfy your desire.
Satiate is often used in situations in which a thirst, craving, or need is satisfied. When satiate indicates eating, it can take on a negative, or even disgusted tone. If you say, the diners at the world's largest buffet were satiated, you might not mean that they were merely satisfied.
Memory aid to help you memorize. Satiate closely resembles SFY. Imagine yourself sitting and eating to your heart's content till the time you are satisfied or satiated. You can also remember satiate by thinking of it as sat plus 8.
Satiate অর্থ সম্পূর্ণরূপে সন্তুষ্ট, satisfactorily. Saturate অর্থ পরিপূর্ণ করা, সম্পূর্ণরূপে শুষে নেওয়া। Suck thoroughly, infuse or fill completely.
The verb saturate means to cause something to be fully soaked to the point where it can't take on anything else. A heavy rainstorm can saturate the ground, leaving puddles on the lawn because no more water can be absorbed.
Saturate comes from the Latin word saturatus, means to fill full, drench. Saturate is often used to describe the aftermath of a big rainstorm, but other things can be saturated as well. If you're a workaholic, you might saturate all your time with work, leaving no time to spend with your family.
Memory aid to help you memorize. Saturate or integrate, to fill or supply completely. Saturate, think of it as saturated fat. Once we take saturated fat in, it will soak in your body and become fat. Very hard to burn it off.
Saturate অর্থ পরিপূর্ণ করা, সম্পূর্ণরূপে শুষে নেওয়া। Suck thoroughly, infuse or fill completely. Savor অর্থ স্বতন্ত্র গন্ধ বা গুণমান আছে এমন। A particular taste or smell, especially an appealing one, have a distinctive flavor, smell, or quality.
Whether it's a feeling of joy or a piece of pecan pie, when you savor something, you enjoy it to the fullest.
When you savor something, you enjoy it so much that you want to make it last forever. With that in mind, savor carries a connotation of doing something slowly. If you savor that flourless chocolate tart, then you eat it slowly, bit by bit, deliberately picking every last crumb off the plate.
Memory aid to help you memorize. You savor, feel the taste, the flavor, taste, of the food you eat. Focus on save plus or. If you save your money in young age, you can enjoy later in future life.
Savor অর্থ স্বতন্ত্র গন্ধ বা গুণমান আছে এমন। A particular taste or smell, especially an appealing one, have a distinctive flavor, smell, or quality.
Secrete অর্থ কোষ বা শারীরিক তরল থেকে উৎপন্ন। Generate and separate from cells or bodily fluids.
It's easy to remember that Secrete's all about secrets when you see the word secret inside Secrete. Imagine the first person who squeezed a lemon and secreted the juice. Probably felt like he'd discovered a secret stash of citrus goodness.
If he was greedy, maybe he gathered all the lemons he could find and secreted them away in a box so no one else would learn the secret of the juice secretion.
Memory aid to help you memorize. Secrete is all about secrets. It means both to hide and to release. When you squeeze a lemon, it secretes juice. When you stuff your money in a mattress, you secrete it there.
Secrete অর্থ কোষ বা শারীরিক তরল থেকে উৎপন্ন। Generate and separate from cells or bodily fluids. Shard অর্থ ভঙ্গুর শিল্পকর্মের ভাঙা টুকরা। A broken piece of a brittle artifact.
A shard is simply a broken piece of metal, glass, stone, or pottery with sharp edges.
Don't confuse shard with shred, meaning to cut into strips, or chard, a leafy green vegetable. You could use a shard of metal to shred chard into salad, but be careful that you don't cut your hands to shreds.
Memory aid to help you memorize. If you break a mirror, the thin sharp pieces you want to avoid are shards.
Shard অর্থ ভঙ্গুর শিল্পকর্মের ভাঙা টুকরা। A broken piece of a brittle artifact. Skeptic অর্থ যে অভ্যাসগতভাবে গৃহীত বিশ্বাসে সন্দেহ করে। Someone who habitually doubts accepted beliefs.
A skeptic is a person who doesn't believe something is true unless they see evidence. As a skeptic, you refuse to believe your sister saw a ghost. After all, she can't prove it.
Skeptics are doubters, they need to see proof before they will believe. If you're a skeptic, you're probably dubious about things like astrology and magic. Coming from the Greek word skeptikos, which means thoughtful or inquiring.
Memory aid to help you memorize. Skeptic, remove K. So, it becomes septic. When a person is wounded or injured, he always have doubt whether it is going to get septic or not. So he is doubtful.
স্কেপটিক অর্থ যে অভ্যাসগতভাবে গৃহীত বিশ্বাসে সন্দেহ করে, someone who habitually doubts accepted beliefs. Solicitous অর্থ একান্তভাবে কামনাকারী, full of desire, worried, concerned.
If you're solicitous about learning the connections between words, you'll surely want to know about the relationship between solicitous and another word you've probably heard before, solicit.
Solicitous doesn't come from solicit, but the two words are related. They both have their roots in the Latin word solicitus, meaning anxious. Solicitous itself came directly from this Latin word, whereas solicit made its way to English with a few more steps.
Memory aid to help you memorize. Solicit means to request earnestly for something, but if you have to wait for it to happen, then you are liable to become solicitous.
Solicitous অর্থ একান্তভাবে কামনাকারী, full of desire, worried, concerned.
Soporific অর্থ ঘুম প্ররোচিত করে, inducing sleep, marked by sleepiness.
Something that is soporific is sleep-inducing. Certain medicines, but also extreme coziness, can have a soporific effect.
In the 1680s, soporific, which doubles as both adjective and noun, was formed from the French soporifique. That word, in turn, came from the Latin sopor, deep sleep.
Memory aid to help you memorize. Soporific sounds like so far risky, so this soporific is so far risky. I'm too scared to take it.
Soporific অর্থ ঘুম প্ররোচিত করে, inducing sleep, marked by sleepiness. Specious অর্থ বিশ্বাসযোগ্য কিন্তু মিথ্যা, seemingly reasonable but incorrect, plausible but false.
Use specious to describe an argument that seems to be good, correct, or logical, but is not so. We live on the Earth, therefore the Earth must be the center of the universe has been proven to be a specious theory of the solar system.
Something that is specious is attractive in a deceptive way, and if you follow the word's etymology. In Middle English, this adjective meant attractive, from Latin specious, showy, beautiful, from species appearance, kind, sort. Latin species is also the source of English species.
Memory aid to help you memorize. Specious equals speech is, means it is true only in speech or words, but not in reality.
Specious অর্থ বিশ্বাসযোগ্য কিন্তু মিথ্যা, seemingly reasonable but incorrect, plausible but false. Spectrum অর্থ বস্তু, মান বা গুণাবলীর একটি বিস্তৃত পরিসর, a broad range of related objects, values, or qualities.
A spectrum is a broad range of similar things or qualities, like the wide spectrum of political beliefs in this country, ranging anywhere from super conservative to uber liberal and everything in between.
Our modern definition of spectrum started out in the 1600s, when scientists used it to refer to the band of colors formed by a beam of light, like a rainbow. In physics, it's a word that describes the distribution of something, like energy or atomic particles.
Memory aid to help you memorize. The colors in the rainbow, the optical spectrum, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet are remembered in the classic mnemonic Roigbiv. The electromagnetic spectrum, gamma ray, X-ray, ultraviolet, infrared, radio spectrum.
স্পেকট্রাম অর্থ বস্তু, মান বা গুণাবলীর একটি বিস্তৃত পরিসর। A broad range of related objects, values, or qualities. Sporadic অর্থ বিক্ষিপ্ত বা অপ্রত্যাশিত পরিস্থিতির পুনরাবৃত্তি, recurring in scattered or unpredictable instances.
Sporadic is an adjective that you can use to refer to something that happens or appears often, but not constantly or regularly. The mail carrier comes every day, but the plumber's visits are sporadic. He comes as needed.
A specialized use of sporadic is to describe a disease that appears occasionally in random cases. Mostly, you'll hear this word used to describe anything that happens occasionally, like your family's sporadic trips to visit your distant cousins or the sporadic bake sales your science club sponsors.
Memory aid to help you memorize the word. Sporadic equals opposite of periodic. We know periodic things occur regularly. Take the first half of the word, spore, which sounds like pores. Pimples which occur irregularly create pores in the skin. Sporadic.
Sporadic অর্থ বিক্ষিপ্ত বা অপ্রত্যাশিত পরিস্থিতির পুনরাবৃত্তি, recurring in scattered or unpredictable instances. Stigma অর্থ অপমান বা কুখ্যাতির প্রতীক, token of disgrace, a symbol of disgrace or infamy.
If something has a negative association attached to it, call this a stigma. Bedwetting can lead to a social stigma for a 6-year-old, while chewing tobacco might have the same effect for a 60-year-old.
Stigma, from the Greek word of the same spelling meaning mark, puncture, came into English through Latin to mean a mark burned into the skin to signify disgrace. Stigma soon started to be used figuratively for the negative stereotype or reputation attached to something.
Memory aid to help you memorize the word. Stigma equals stick plus ma. Imagine someone hitting his mother, with a stick. How disgraceful it will be. Or, stigma equals sounds like enigma is always disgraceful.
Stigma অর্থ অপমান বা কুখ্যাতির প্রতীক, token of disgrace, a symbol of disgrace or infamy. Stint অর্থ অল্প পরিমাণে এবং সীমিত পরিমাণে সরবরাহ করা, supply sparingly and with restricted quantities.
The noun stint means a set amount of time in which you do something, often work of some sort. She served a stint in the army, followed by a stint in an office setting, before settling on a career as a lounge singer.
Unlike a project or vocation, a stint can refer to the stretch of time spent doing a particular job. You apply for a job, but you refer to your past stint in the Peace Corps. As a verb, stint means to be sparing or frugal, or restrict in a stingy manner, to skimp.
Memory aid to help you memorize the word. S plus 10 plus T, survive on 10 meager things. Stint equals S plus 10, someone expends 10 amount of money is stingy.
Stint অর্থ অল্প পরিমাণে এবং সীমিত পরিমাণে সরবরাহ করা, supply sparingly and with restricted quantities. Stipulate অর্থ চুক্তিতে একটি স্পষ্ট দাবি বা বিধান করা, make an express demand or provision in an agreement.
To stipulate something means to demand that it be part of an agreement. So when you make a contract or deal, you can stipulate that a certain condition must be met.
Anytime you draw up a legal agreement, you can stipulate a requirement that has to be met for that agreement to be complete. This stipulation might put some sort of limit on the agreement. For example, if you run a fencing company and offer a sale, you can stipulate that to get the sale price.
Memory aid. Stipulate equals steep plus late. Imagine that you were going for a meeting with the party, but because of the steep slope of the route you couldn't reach in time, reached late at the desired place. We sometimes need to complete work in the stipulated time that is set on the contract.
Stipulate অর্থ চুক্তিতে একটি স্পষ্ট দাবি বা বিধান করা. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. Stolid অর্থ সামান্য আবেগ বা সংবেদনশীলতা থাকা বা প্রকাশ করা, অবিচলিত, ভাবলেশহীন. Having or revealing little emotion or sensibility, calm, dependable.
A stolid person can't be moved to smile or show much sign of life, in much the same way as something solid, like a giant boulder, is immovable. Both are expressionless.
It's hard to get excited about the word stolid. It refers to emotionless people or things, and it even sounds pretty dull. Your face may be stolid, as you plod through the unemotional history of the word born in the 17th century of little more than Latin words for foolish.
Memory aid. Stolid is solid as a rock. Stolid keeps a lid on their emotions.
Stolid অর্থ সামান্য আবেগ বা সংবেদনশীলতা থাকা বা প্রকাশ করা, অবিচলিত, ভাবলেশহীন. Having or revealing little emotion or sensibility, calm, dependable. Striated অর্থ সমান্তরাল ব্যান্ড দিয়ে চিহ্নিত, খাঁজকাটা. Marked with parallel bands, grooved.
If a field is ploughed into furrows, it's striated, or, technically, it's marked with striae, which are stripes or grooves.
When you see striate, think of stripes. When a child uses a fork to make a row of stripes in her Play-Doh, she's striating it. A striated rock surface might show evidence of the movement of glacier thousands of years ago. Striated muscle has a striped appearance.
Memory aid. Striate equals strip of different color.
Striated অর্থ সমান্তরাল ব্যান্ড দিয়ে চিহ্নিত, খাঁজকাটা. Marked with parallel bands, grooved. Strut অর্থ গর্বিত ও আত্মবিশ্বাসের সাথে হাঁটা. Pompous walk, walk in a proud, confident way.
When you strut, you walk with a proud swagger that has a little arrogance thrown in, like the prance of a running back who has just flown past the 250-pound linebackers and planted the ball in the end zone.
You can't strut and be shy about it when you strut. You know people are watching you. The big boss in a gangster film, a model on the runway, and the rap artist whose album has just gone platinum all know how to strut.
Memory aid. Models strut around the stage in precarious heels.
Strut অর্থ গর্বিত ও আত্মবিশ্বাসের সাথে হাঁটা. Pompous walk, walk in a proud, confident way. Subpoena অর্থ একজন সাক্ষীর উপস্থিতি বাধ্যতামূলক করার জন্য জারি করা রিট. Summoning a witness to appear.
A subpoena is a document that requires its recipient to appear in court as a witness. If you receive a subpoena, it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong, it just means you may have information that's needed by the court.
If you receive a subpoena but fail to carry out, you're in big trouble. This fact is suggested by the Latin roots of this word. The prefix sub means under, and poena means penalty. One nice thing about a subpoena is that it's not a summons. If you get one of those, then you're being sued.
Memory aid to help you memorize this. Subpoena equals sub plus pena. Sub means under and pena means penalty. Remember subpoena when you are under penalty to attend to court.
Subpoena অর্থ একজন সাক্ষীর উপস্থিতি বাধ্যতামূলক করার জন্য জারি করা রিট। Summoning a witness to appear. Subside অর্থ শান্ত হত্যা, প্রশমিত হত্যা। We're off or D down.
To subside is to die down or become less violent, like rough ocean waves after a storm has passed, or your seasickness, if you happen to be sailing on that ocean.
Subside comes from the Latin prefix sub, meaning down, and the Latin verb sidere, meaning to settle. Subside is often used when a negative situation has improved significantly. For example, violence, disease, and unemployment can all subside. Here's hoping that they do.
Memory aid to help you memorize this. Subside equals sink to a lower level or form a depression.
Subside অর্থ শান্ত হত্যা, প্রশমিত হত্যা। We're off or D down. Substantiate অর্থ নতুন প্রমাণ বা তথ্যের ভিত্তিতে প্রতিষ্ঠিত করা। Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts.
To substantiate is to give support to a claim. We'd really like to believe in the tooth fairy, however, more evidence is needed to substantiate her existence, besides that quarter in your pocket.
Substantiate is related to the word substantial, which means a solid. So, to substantiate a claim is to make it solid or believable. If the evidence given in support of an argument is weak and unconvincing, that evidence can be described as insubstantial.
Memory aid to help you memorize this. A part of substantiate sounds like the word substance, and this is the best way to remember the meaning of substantiate as it becomes easy to relate to, that is adding substance to something.
Substantiate অর্থ নতুন প্রমাণ বা তথ্যের ভিত্তিতে প্রতিষ্ঠিত করা। Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. Supersede অর্থ প্রতিস্থাপন cause to be set aside, replace, make obsolete.
When something supersedes, it takes the place of something else. The 5th edition of your history textbook supersedes the 4th edition.
Most words that include super have something good going on. Supersede is from the 16th century Latin for sit on top, and it often means to replace with something better. A version 10 of a computer game will supersede version 9, making it more exciting.
Memory aid to help you memorize this. Super, Latin, equals over sedere, Latin, equals sit, as in sedentary, sediment, etc. So, something that sits over another makes the latter obsolete. Or, a seed is eventually replaced with a supersede, because that's better.
Supersede অর্থ প্রতিস্থাপন cause to be set aside, replace, make obsolete. Supposition অর্থ অনুমান করার জ্ঞানীয় প্রক্রিয়া। Hypothesis, surmise, the cognitive process of conjecturing.
A supposition is a guess or a hypothesis. Your supposition that your kids will automatically wash their hands before dinner is probably false. You'd best remind them to do it or risk dirty hands at dinner.
What's the difference between an assumption and a supposition? An assumption is an idea or theory that is usually made without proof. A supposition, on the other hand, has the connotation that the idea or theory is testable and provable.
Memory aid to help you memorize this. Supposition equals suppose plus position. Think you age guessing your position by following some scientific rule. So, suppose you are in standing position is supposition.
Supposition অর্থ অনুমান করার জ্ঞানীয় প্রক্রিয়া. Hypothesis, surmise, the cognitive process of conjecturing.